Nobar MV ends with Haru, Jimin, and Jungkook's intimate moments that are not recorded live. Armies around the world are once again moved by a story hidden behind the scenes, a moment not captured on camera, but left a deep imprint in the hearts of those who witnessed it firsthand. It all started when BTS held a Nobar, watch together, session of their latest MV in a limited room with the team and crew of trust. The live broadcast does show most of the members' interactions, but there are parts that are suddenly cut, and this is the beginning of the puzzle that makes ARMY curious. Several eyewitnesses, including staff who shared their stories via anonymous accounts, revealed that the emotional, intimate moment between Jimin and Jungkook happened right after the song ended. As the screen darkened and the room fell silent, Jungkook could be seen turning his face to Jimin with an expression that was hard to describe, a mixture of pride, nostalgia, and something unspoken. Jimin, who from the beginning looked very emotional during the screening of the MV, reportedly grasped Jungkook's hand tightly and lowered his head. Some say he shed tears in silence. Jungkook did not say a word, but instead placed his other hand on Jimin's shoulder and hugged him for a moment, short enough not to attract too much attention, but deep enough to make anyone who saw him understand. This was no ordinary hug. This part is not included in the official live broadcast. The camera seems to be deliberately switched to RM, who is talking to the director of the MV. But the small voice of a crew member is faintly heard in the leaked recording. It's always like this when the song hits those memories. What is meant by those memories? No one knows for sure, but many fans suspect that the MV contains emotional elements that are very related to BTS's early days, joint struggles, to the difficult moments they have passed as group mates, and more than that, as two human beings who grew up together, know each other's innermost side more than anyone. After the Nobar session was over, Jungkook briefly returned to the empty room alone, and Jimin followed a few minutes later. Staff who were near the door claimed to hear the sound of conversation slowly, then silent. When they came out, Jimin's eyes were a little puffy, and Jungkook just smiled slightly without saying anything. But the two stared at each other before parting in different directions. One sentence that was thrown from Jungkook that afternoon during a short interview was recorded by the media. Some memories are too precious to share with the world. ARMY, who heard the statement, immediately flooded social media with theories, hope, and love. This moment may not be captured visually, but as always, genuine love doesn't need a camera to convey it. The ARMY knew, and they felt it, in between the MVs, in silence, and through gazes that only two understanding hearts could understand without the need for many words. After the Haru moment when the Nobar MV was circulating by word of mouth among the ARMY, attention turned to one big question. Will the feelings seen between Jimin and Jungkook that night be poured into a song? Some keen-eyed fans noticed one important detail. Before the Nobar session, Jungkook had time to bring a small flash drive with an unusual golden logo. He showed it quickly to the technical staff, then put it back in his jacket pocket. According to information that emerged from a trusted fanbase account, the flash drive contained a demo of an unreleased song, allegedly a secret duet project between himself and Jimin. A source in Big Hit mentioned, without naming names, that the two BTS members are working on something very personal, and that the project was born not from the demands of the company, but from an emotional event that they could not let pass without a form of expression. Some leaked lyrics that were allegedly part of the song began circulating in online communities, with stanzas such as, "I held your silence like it was mine / when no one stayed. You still remained / don't speak. I know you feel the same." These lyrics reflect the atmosphere of Nobar's moment. Silence, hugs, and unspoken feelings are so deep. Many ARMY speculated that this song could be a platonic love note, or even a form of emotional reconciliation of a long-held story between them. After this news went around, social media exploded. ARMYs from different countries are creating support campaigns for this project, although it has not been officially confirmed. fans also began linking the song to past incidents, when Jimin went through a rough patch and temporarily disappeared from social media. And Jungkook refused to perform live alone during that period. All the pieces of events that used to be considered small are now like a red thread that explains one big story. Although Big Hit is still silent about this project, the other BTS members actually give instructions through small gestures. RM in his latest live called that sometimes the most touching song is not about ordinary love, but about loyalty that lasts in silence. While Taeyong only smiled when asked about the mysterious duet, then said, "Just wait. Your heart may be too full later." Whatever they're working on, it's clear that their relationship isn't just about teamwork or friendship. It is a strong form of attachment, growing out of a sense of mutual protection, understanding, and choosing to stay when the other might leave. And behind the MVs, live broadcasts, and grandiose concerts, there are two hearts that speak to each other in a language that only they understand. That nobar is just the surface of a deeper ocean of emotion, and perhaps we will all soon hear it in the song they sing together, for each other. And for the world, it didn't take long for the Korean entertainment industry to smell the huge potential behind Jimin and Jungkook's emotional closeness, which is now a hot topic. Music media such as Melon, Naver, and Dispatch began to highlight the movements of the two post-Nobar MV. Some columnists even refer to this as the most honest moment of two idols who have been keeping too much in silence. A senior producer who once worked with BTS anonymously told the media that if this duet really happens, it's not just ARMY that will be amazed, the industry will be speechless. He added, "Both have a complementary vocal tone and a real emotional history. If poured in a song, the result will be emotionally and commercially explosive." Meanwhile, other agencies and even some solo artists began throwing support implicitly. IU, who has collaborated with Jungkook personally as a friend, retweeted the duo's fan art with a caption full of question marks and purple hearts. Many consider this to be an indirect form of blessing from fellow musicians to a project that has not yet been officially announced. There are rumors that Big Hit is preparing a surprise release in the form of a live studio version that will be released on YouTube without massive promotion, a more intimate form, which corresponds to the emotional character of the song. But until now, there is no exact date. Part of ARMY actually hopes that the song will not be released commercially, but will remain a hidden gift for those who really followed the emotional tracks of the two from the very beginning. On the other hand, many also hope that the song will become an official single that can break world records as well as Jungkook's 7 and Jimin's Like Crazy. The bigger question arises, will Jimin and Jungkook's closeness have an impact on BTS's internal dynamics? The answer is quite possible. Yes, but not in a negative sense. From the beginning, BTS was not only about music, but also about the story of friendship and family that woke up from the bottom. If Jimin and Jungkook show a stronger bond emotionally, it could reinforce the group's message that BTS is built on love and understanding, not sheer professionalism. RM in his latest podcast said, "We all have our own way of dealing with pressure. But when one member rests on another, it is not a burden. It's home." The statement is believed by many to be a form of blessing from the leader to all forms of sincere relationships between members, including whatever is happening between Jimin and Jungkook. From one hug in a dark room to a global furor about an unreleased duet, the story of Jimin and Jungkook proves one thing: intimacy doesn't always need words, and love, in whatever form, will always find a way to touch the world. Now the ARMY can only wait, with heart palpitations and tears ready to fall, to hear the song, or simply to see them standing next to each other, looking at each other and knowing that everything is still fine.